Hello everybody and welcome back to another video on this channel. Today I'm going to cover all of the hero changes that have been made on the PTR, which will of course eventually hit the live servers, but for now they are just on the PTR, the public test region. So I'm going to detail every single one, at least I will tell them all to you. I'm only going to show you the changes to Torbjorn and Pharah because they're the most extensive. And they're the only ones that I think you need to see to see the difference. So we're going to start with Torbjorn, who has had the most changes because he got a rework. A general thing with Torbjorn that's changing is the size of his head hit volume. It's been reduced by 10%. So keep that in mind. Let's jump into playing as Torbjorn. Also note, Reinhardt's down right now because of a bug. That's why you can't play as him, but that's the only reason why he's down. So let's load up Torbjorn. So his primary fire has had changes. Nothing too major in terms of damage output. The damage output hasn't changed. It's just that the projectile speed has been increased from 60 to 70 per second. So you can see it's a little bit faster there. Also, the reload time has been reduced from 2.2 to 2 seconds. And the final change to it is something that I will get to when I get to his turret. But his alternate fire has also had some change. So the recovery of it has been lowered from 0.8 to 0.6 seconds. I believe that is the time in between shots. So the time in between shots is less. The damage per shot has been lowered from 150 to 125. So not doing as much per shot, but still a good amount, and you're able to shoot a little bit faster, so the damage output is a little bit better. The reload time was also reduced from 2.2 to 2 seconds, just as it was with the primary fire, and the spread randomization has been readjusted, so the spread is not as crazy now. It's pretty star-shaped too, look at that. So that's that for the alternate fire, and then the radius of the hammer has been increased to align with quick melee. So that is how they improved the hammer. But let's get to the bigger changes. So let's start with the turret. So the turret, you no longer place it down like you used to. Now you just throw it down and it'll build itself up into a level 2 turret. It'll shoot, nearby enemies as it did before, and it's the same damage as a level 2 turret from before, but it's just you don't have to hammer it to keep it up. Now you can hammer it to repair it. That's what the hammer is still for. The maximum health of the turret was reduced from 300 to 250. It incurs a 5-second cooldown when deployed, so if you deploy it, you can't deploy another one for 5 seconds, and if it gets destroyed, you can't put another one down for 10 seconds. You can't put one down if it's currently in combat. So example, I can't put one down right now, but I can put one down when it's not in combat. I don't really know exactly. You have to destroy it first in order to do that, I believe. I don't think I can destroy it if it's in combat. No, that's a lie. You can actually destroy it when it's in combat. Didn't know. It's a little unclear what it means. Deploy a new turret if it's in combat, but why would I need to deploy it? Because I can't anyway. Anyway, if you also can't deploy, or you can't destroy it, I believe, if it has taken damage within 3 seconds, or if it's firing. I think you have to wait when it's not doing those things, but it doesn't really seem to be doing that, so that's why I'm a little confused. You can destroy it using F or your interact input, whatever that is for each person, but that's what I think it defaults to. And it'll self-build itself even if Torbjorn dies. So, typically it doesn't do that, but let's see, we're going to destroy that. We got to wait for the cooldown to happen. But it used to be that you would place it down, and then if you died while it was building, it wouldn't continue its construction. But if I do that, it finished before it even died. So didn't really work out. Anyway, next thing that I want to show you with this, I need to destroy it real quick because I need both of these training bots to be alive. to do this, and he'll just kill them right away. There we go. Okay. So if I throw this down, it'll target one of these bots. So it's target the one on the left. If I shoot at the one on the right, it'll swap to shooting at the one on the right. If I shoot at the one on the left, it'll switch to the one on the left, so on and so forth. Your primary fire, whatever you target with your primary fire, the turret will also target. So it gives you more control over where the target of the turret is. Let's take a look at his new ability that replaces the armor pack. As you can see, armor pack and scrap metal, they're all gone. His new ability is called Overload. It replaces the armor pack. It lasts for 5 seconds with a 12-second cooldown. It temporarily grants 150 armor, and it increases attack, movement, and reload speed by 30%. It may look familiar. Essentially, it's the old Molten Core without the boost to the turret. That's it. That's really all it is. It's a very, very, very simple ability move, basically, just no boost to the turret as well. Then we get to his new ultimate ability, which is still called Molten Core, but it is a very different version of Molten Core. So let me just showcase it. I'll show it off, and then I will talk about what it actually does. So as you can see, I put down some like magma lava thing, and anyone that steps on it on the other team takes damage. So let's talk about the damage itself, the properties, whatever. Let's just talk about everything about it. So clearly, as you saw, it switched my weapon from the gun to the claw arm. It lasts 6 seconds. You can fire up to 10 molten globules that create damage pools where they land for 10 seconds. That is exactly what the dev update says. It bounces off walls and ceilings until coming into contact with the ground. So I'll build on my ultimate just to show you that. I'll just throw my turret down here. That's honestly the best way to do it. The base damage is 130, and that's on any kind of base health unit or unit with, it's not a unit, hero with a shield or with just normal white health. And the damage increases from 130 to 190 against enemies that have armor, and it does not stack. So you're not going to do like 190 and 130. You're going to do 190. As soon as they no longer have any armor, it'll go back to 130. So that's the main focus of what it does. But we're going to have the ultimate in a second here, and I can show you it bouncing off of walls. So I can just spray here, and it'll bounce off to there. And I can just shoot those there, and boom. Anyone that tries to come through this choke is going to take a ton of damage from either the magma or from the turret. It's a pretty good setup here for Torbjorn. So that is the basics of Torbjorn's change. It's pretty extensive, but not too crazy. I'd say it's somewhat comparable to Symmetra, but I'd say it's probably closer to Sombra, except the fact that he got a new ability. It's kind of a mix between the two. But let me go over the other hero that got some noticeable changes, which is Pharah. She didn't gain any new abilities or anything. It's just some changes made to her gun, her rocket launcher, her amount of firing she does. So that's the main thing. There was one change also to the concussive blast. The cooldown was reduced from 12 seconds to 9 seconds, as you can see here. So it no longer takes the same amount of time that it used to. And I just showed some firing of the rockets there. The rocket launcher has had some big changes to it. So the biggest one, in my opinion, is the attack speed has been increased. So if you hold down left click, you can see that the rockets shoot out faster than they used to, which is big. The recovery between shots was, of course, lowered from 0.9 to 0.75, and the damage has been redistributed between the explosion and the impact. So the explosion damage, which used to be 80, is now 65. So if I don't shoot directly, if I shoot there, the bot's not going to take as much damage as it used to. But a direct hit is increased from 40 to 55. So obviously the explosion's going to be there regardless, but now the direct hit is dealing an additional 15 from the fact that it's hitting, but not doing the same 15 from splash damage. So it used to be that you were doing significantly more just from the AoE of it. Now the hit is going to be giving you more damage, but the output is going to be the same. Because it's 65-55 versus 80-40. So you're doing the same damage output, or sorry, 65-55 from 80-40. I don't know, maybe I said that correctly, I don't know. And then the explosion knockback has been reduced by 20%, so it's a little bit easier to land your shots. And the self knockback has been increased. Self knockback range has been increased by 25%. Now, I don't know what that means. If that means that knocked me back 25% more, or if it means that the range at which I got knocked back is 25% more, I don't really know. But that is the changes to Pharah. So let's just quickly run over all of the rest of the changes made to heroes. They're all very quick, and I'll go over every update in this PTR patch on Wednesday when the next Overwatch Weekly goes up. But the first one is that Brigitte's barrier shield had its health reduced from 600 to 500. McCree's combat roll had its cooldown reduced from 8 seconds to 6 seconds. Mei had updated visual effects for all abilities. Arisa's fusion driver had its maximum spread reduced from 1.5 to 1.2. And Soldier 76, his heavy pulse rifle had its number of shots until max spread increased from 6 to 9. Those are all of the hero changes in this PTR patch. There's a bunch of other changes in this patch as well. That is not the end of the changes. There's a lot of quality of life changes or bug fixes, some map changes. So I'll talk about the rest of those in the Overwatch Weekly, but I wanted to talk about the hero changes because I think they're a little bit more interesting. I think people care more about those, so I wanted to get those out of the way. But that is where I'm going to end today, so thank you for watching. I know I'm a little late to getting to this. Some people have already covered it, I'm sure, but I wanted to at least make sure I got to it at some point. So thank you all for watching so much. If you enjoyed this video or you want to see more from me in the future, consider liking or subscribing. It really helps out a ton. It goes a long way in helping me know what content you guys like seeing. So thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.